That is the way that we've seen both teams deal with Medusa this tournament. Every time I'm watching a Medusa game, it's just people running around the Medusa, ignoring her completely. Because it's just not worth it most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it is just a fact of it. Of course, those have been a lot of awful uses too, so a little hard to ignore if you get a lot more damage.
I just did the stupidest shit ever. Where I'm sweating my balls doing the staging onslaught, and I just knew you basically can just change difficulty. Bro, what am I sweating balls for? For like, oh my god, I'm speechless, man. So stupid of me, though.
Worst way for that fight to start for the side of Aurora.
Nightfall working his way towards the BKB and does have queued up afterwards the Manta.
And probably an MKB, one would assume, after with that +3 going in there.
Yeah, I think so. Jumps in, good tornado in the midst of him jumping.
Oh,
nightmare
nice
to dodge and then back out.
Holy.
That was sick.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the concerns that were raised,
Oh,
right?
high five. Come on, Sumail. What do you... There we go.
I think Fear was mentioning, like, what is the damage in this chrono?
Yeah.
You know? Willow's a really awkward one ever since they made it so you can't just chuck your lovely little bedlam onto your friends.
Big one coming through with the does it to him. All the comp.
Also, by the time he has another chrono, that'll be up. But like, I would think Nigma are gonna go Roche pretty soon. Knowing there's no chrono, seems like a pretty good opportunity to me. They could maybe smoke in first. It's Omar starting it up, and Dire don't have any. I mean, they have some vision. Looks like, but for the most part, I don't really know what's going on. Nigma are going slot though.
Yataka shows again. And will manage to get some separation, but Noob is there.
What positioning?
Drop down the Static Storm, trying to get their Earthshaker out of the fight. Hera not going to be long for this world, so they don't commit a ton, but they do use the Earthshaker BKB to get him out of there alive.
Noob is really trying to flex how tanky he is and the lack of damage right now on the side of Aurora. He is just throwing these ultis into the middle of where he thinks they could all be, and they're forced to like throw a Static Storm down, but he's got a pipe he can pop if he needs to. Doesn't really need to.
He's also got that invading force, like damage reduction flat, 10%. Which actually I think doubles up when he goes through Fiend's Gate, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty nice.
An easy Roche. Time before it flips back to night. Dude, on this part of the map that they have better control over.
I mean, here's the thing. We've seen a lot of games at this stage be very even.
Yeah.
And then go until late, go until late, go until late.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about this one is you have a Medusa, a great sieging hero, and an Aegis.
Right, or you know, the hero who had 1800 last hits yesterday?
That's true.
10 seconds
you know?
remaining.
The other way it goes.
Sieging one way, also defending forever the other way.
5 seconds remaining.
It's a question of which one we will see. Omar's still on the hunt, has some great vision in the night. Toronto Tokyo able to get away from harm.
10 seconds remaining.
They're just trying to find someone alone. It will be Noob if they go one way.
5 seconds remaining.
So they're just gonna end up. Radiant scan doesn't connect on the close Panto.
They're just going lane to lane.
They're just dropping deep wards here from Mira.
Yeah, they feel like they have to find something else because they cannot walk into this formation.
Panto. Look at GH.
Panto brought down Sumail the last last touch on the Sunstrike.
That's a crazy static storm.
Is going to be a full Aghanim Scepter done for Invoker. Top of the drums, BKB Helm. Chrono is there. You've got some damage, but it really feels like they have not been able to activate Kiyotaka in this game almost at all. Damage done by the Earthshaker has been pretty diddly. Even though it might still be the most of anybody you can see,
Yeah,
to be
exactly,
honest.
right?
That's the problem, really.
I think prioritization-wise, it's probably Omar they need to get first in these fights because they're trying to set up for good chronos, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So trying to get rid of the Bane would be ideal. At least Tusk doesn't really have any good hands with Chrono.
Oh, Panto. They get the Nightmare on one, Grip on the other. They do manage to break it, though, with the Shaker. Now Nuke runs in. Says, come deal with me. They manage to start to hit the tier 3 tower. Ghost saying, you don't have what it takes to fight me right now.
No, they do not have stones. I'll tell you that much.
Alacrity keeps on hitting, has Manta ready, punches it out. Tier 3 tower dead. What is the solution right now for Aurora? It's been game after game of pushing it late, trying to defend as long as possible.
Prepare
And
for
right
battle.
now,
I'm coming.
there is nothing they can do to stand up against this.
We understand.
All right. Well, I mean, Omar is lurking back there, is holding a healing Lotus, so nice and tanky, and your buildings are gone. He's gonna take the wave too. He doesn't even care. His buildings are dead. I still want the gold.
Moves on in, finds Nightfall's creep, gives away a little bit more gold, and I mean, you can hit creeps as much as you want on Aurora. Eventually, they're gonna hit buildings.
This will be the saddest way to resign a game to your own fate. It feels like they have made 0 moves.
Yes, there hasn't been anything that. Oh, nice man's dodge there by Ghost. They're trying to stop this pressure. It's not a big gold lead, but there is no damage to deal with Medusa. They gotta keep farming. They gotta do something.
30 seconds to
Another
battle.
minute left on it. And in that minute, how much damage will be done to these buildings? Potentially another set of racks. They find the backline. No, Nightfall. Oh my God. It's the new Nightfall. BKB into death. As Mira in trouble. Gonna get right-clicked down. Ghost on top of Tron Tokyo. There is no buyback on this Faceless Void.
Farming for what?
Absolutely eviscerated. And on the other side, it is a damn good day to be Enigma Galaxy fan, as they are well on their way to qualifying to TI if they can close this out.
You're making them nervous.
I am.
Let it just let
There's
it simmer a
no
little
way
bit.
they can throw this game. None at all.
I mean, this is just a march down lanes. It's really that simple. They've got the Dusa, she got farmed, and Ghost is piloting her straight down the lane.
Good idea. There. We see them. Forward. First blood.
You'll be looking up at the grass.
Yes. We will. Yes. We agree. We will.
Your top tower is under
Up
attack.
today. We rush. As needed. We see.
Jangan tarik mau tahu, jangan tarik mau tahu.
Easily. Yes. Onward. Multiply. Easy. How delay. Forward. We agree.
Jangan pula, jangan pula.
We understand. Attack. Good idea. We march. We will. We rush. As needed. As ordered. We will. Under attack. Quickly. We move. There. Yes.
Duduk je situ. Ambil SP. Bila dia buat kat sini.
Good idea. Now.
Haste.
We march. We will take it all. There. As needed. Without delay. As ordered. We will. Beware. Simple. We agree. Like spears. We see. Yes. We move. Yeah. We will. Our pike finds. Easy. Onward. Forward strike. Yes. Quickly. For victory. We come for you.
Yes. Swarm. Yes. We move. We see. Now. As needed. We will. We will. East. We understand. We agree. They cannot hide. For victory. We rush. Simple. Without delay. Onward. There. Forward. Good idea. Nice. Yeah. As ordered. Quickly. We will. We move. As ordered.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Easily.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Good idea. We see.
Jangan pull, jangan pull.
We will. Without delay. We understand.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Now. For victory. Quickly.
Your middle tower is under attack.
There.
Dire's structures are fortified. Your middle tower is under attack.
Denied. Simple. Yes. Forward. We rush.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Without delay. There. We agree. Quickly. Now. Forward. We will. Let it go. Yes. Yes. Give out.
Your top tower is under attack.
Into battle.
And more.
Onward.
Chase this.
As ordered. We
Your middle
understand.
tower is under attack.
Triple kill.
Your middle tower has fallen.
As needed. We see. We move. We rush. Easily. We see. We see. That should help. We will. We march. Under attack. Good idea. We move. Easy. Yes.
Ramai, bebek.
We rush.
Bit di bit.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Quickly. As needed. Without delay. Now. There. understand. Onward. Yes. Our force comes. We will. I'm under attack.
Aduh.
Your top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
We see.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen. The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Quickly. Wear us now. As needed. Rush. We will. There. Yes. The God Daddies. We march out. Good idea. We agree. We understand. For victory.
Your top tower is under attack.
Without delay. As ordered.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
We move.
Your top tower is under attack.
Yes. I'm under attack. We march.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack.
As needed. Welcome to the secret shop. Simple. Forward. Battle up. Without delay. We
Your top
understand.
tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen. Your bottom tower is under attack.
As ordered.
Your bottom tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified.
We agree. We feel the rush. We see. We will.
Your top tower is under attack. There to be seen.
dapat. Alhamdulillah.
The enemy's top tower has been denied.
Forward. Yes.
Your top tower is under attack.
BC. We march. I'm open. Attack. We will.
That's hot.
They cannot hide.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Good idea. Right. We rush. Missing top. Onward. Yes. We will. For victory.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Bodoh lah lek.
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. is under attack. Your bottom tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack.
Sweep across the field once more.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Quickly! We feel the rush as needed. We see them. We will. Without delay.
Money to burn.
We will. We rush. East. Yes. Launch. Nice. Yeah. We agree.
Your middle tower has fallen.
We understand.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Good idea.
Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks are under attack.
Onward. Under attack.
Your top tower is under attack.
For victory. Yes. We agree.
We understand. Easily. Now. Good idea. As needed. Onward. Simple. As ordered.
Has fallen.
We will. For victory. We see.
Are under attack.
On to the next. We hunt.
Fallen to the radiant.
Immortality. Illusion. We understand. Ye shall strike. Onward. We will take
Dire's structures are fortified. The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
a delay.
Watch out.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
As needed.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
The line without
Just
end.
me.
We will. Quickly. As ordered.
We march. Forward. We will. Come for you. Yes. For victory. Without delay. We understand. We will. As ordered. Quickly. Yes. Good idea. Simple. We agree.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
I'm under attack. We march.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
We see.
Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks has fallen.
Forward.
Ada bajet lebih. Bad recruitment commercials for the armed forces. You got arms? You're in.
Your top tower is under attack.
Want to serve your
Your
country
top tower
and be
has
appreciated
fallen.
for it? I mean, oh yeah, it's only gonna happen.
Your top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dark structures are fortified. is under attack.
As needed.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Under attack.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
As needed. Prepared. Good idea. Time. March. Right. Easily. Up. We rush. Now. We see. Onward. Yeah. Forward. Without delay. Attack. We will. Yes. We will. As ordered. We understand. We agree. Yes. Now. For our cause. As needed. Easily. We march. Our lance is ready. As ordered. We agree. We understand. Forward. Quickly. We move. Without delay. We see. There. We will.
To the radiant.
rush. Yes. Attack. We understand. Death. For victory. We move. Forward. We agree. Quickly. We will. Easily. Without delay. We will. We rush. As needed. Good idea. As ordered. Now. Yes.
Dire structures are fortified.
Easy. Onward.
Your top tower is under attack.
Quickly.
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack. are under attack.
Hold.
Your top barracks has fallen.
Nice one, bro.
Top barracks are under attack.
Gelima. Nice.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack.
We move. Yes. We rush. There. Without delay. Yes. We march.
Lina take.
For victory. Forward.
Double damage.
We agree. We rush. Attack. Easily. Good idea. Into battle. Time shall strike. Without delay. Now. We will. Yes. We march. Yes. As needed.
Regeneration.
As ordered. We
Chạy lên, chạy lên.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Your bottom barracks has fallen. Your bottom barracks has fallen. Now has mega. Your middle tower is under attack.
Simple. Forward. Demolish. Now. Decoy. Yes.
Sean has fallen to the down.
For victory.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your ancient is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Your ancient is under Your ancient is under attack.
Simple. Yes. As needed. We agree. Quickly. Without delay. We see. Yes. We see. Yeah. That's no problem. Onward. We will. We move. Without delay. Good idea. Simple. We will
Your ancient is under attack.
there.
Your ancient is under attack. Is under attack. Your ancient is under attack. Your ancient is under attack.
That wasn't too
We rush. For victory.
Next time, I will sense the structures are fortified. Your ancient is under attack.
We must.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
We shall strike. We understand.
Your ancient is under attack.
Now.
Your ancient is under attack. Your ancient is under attack. Radiant's structures are fortified.
Aku tahu dia.
Systems of the veil. Dire victory.
Itulah.
also really impressed with P-Vision. Like, obviously, it is sad to see Walker go, and I think they showed, you know, what they're made of in this tournament to us. But oh my god, to be that far behind, it was so fun to just watch the minimap and see how they were managing to split their heroes around to try and get as much out of the map as possible to keep up net worth. Because Satanic's Void was like right up there with an Alchemist for most of the game in a game that they're getting destroyed in. I was like, watching the way this man was putting like his Mjolnir active on his Helm of Dom creep and then sending that down lanes, for example, whilst then farming the outer edge of the map in Swan. I know this is highlighting no one,
we're getting there.
but for me, Satanic was my MVP, man. The way this guy got farmed, hui!
Easily the MVP. I think this guy carried them 2 games. He straight up carried this team.
Yeah, I mean, in the first game, it really was just this patiently waiting for that anti-mage to get online. And in this game number 2, it felt the same about the Faceless Void. The same thing can be said props for Wildcard. They did end up slowing that down a little bit. They did end up finding him when he was trying to make that space and farm up and keep a net worth there for himself. But yeah, that high ground push, I don't like, even when we watch the replay fly, I'm still kind of questioning like just exactly how P-Vision could hold that and continue on and actually pull back this game.
I mean, there's a problem when you start winning games. Your mind tends to relax a little bit and you lose a little bit of focus. And you cannot lose your focus for a single second in this game. Like, we've seen so many teams throw on the high ground. You're playing against Chronosphere and Black Hole, and sure, you have tools to deal with them with Dawnbreaker and Warlock. But if you just walk up together and just get spells on everyone, you're gonna all lose in that 40k gold. First golem usage, I would have liked him to use it to actually get a tower, but he sort of does it defensively, which does help him live, but then he suicides his golem into the tower, which is a bit unfortunate. But Speed was off to a great start, and you usually don't get early level 6 anymore like this, so...
Worth something, right? There was also the lane swap. That's actually something we didn't talk about because of this eventual comeback right at the ending of this game. Just really kind of took everyone else over, that we forgot about how good this early game was. The fact that you're able to get an early 6, the fact that they did do this lane swapping to ensure that the Dawn was staying up against the Enigma and... He did struggle, but like... No, come! All the time by the helms, by the Eidolons, and he did get his net worth up and he did get his items. So we see by the end of the game, between the Chronosphere and the Black Hole, they had too many threats for them to deal with. The next part in this game that we would like to look at is Yourself Fear. This one is something, you know, to highlight P-Vision that they were never really truly out of, right?
Definitely not. There's just good movement here. Void took the gate this way, and just highlighting the fact of this Helm Dom and how much utility it has. Satanic bought it. Normally Faceless Void is a hero that is pretty useless, but he provided the creep so 9 class could get in there, get that kill, and they made the rotations here. And this is where the game was going really well for P-Vision, and a lot of it does have to do with just having great rotations by Satanic here.
Yes, sir, I get like taken away that we are still talking about this game and you're gonna just sit here and watch it there. It's an interesting one. You know that on the other side, the Alk is still farming it up. A lot of us know the difference between...
These are the
as a carry player, making the decisions when to move on. And Satanic did a great job this game of doing so.
And the final linchpin, I will say, of
じゃじゃーん最高の一品よ世界を熱狂の渦に天心直送烈風万象よ巡れ
Need to watch this in like 5% speed to truly understand, but I will give most of the props to this pick me up facet on Marcy. Got him so far back into the base, made Wildcard have to extend so far out and saved his life. I think he also then just like throws him as well. Satanic lives on like 1% HP, mostly due to this Marcy, and it lets him get his BKB off of Satanic and get back into the fight. I mean, it could have been devastating if he hadn't, because he did not have buyback.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of an early bomb.
光り輝くがいい僕を平穏調理ガンのように羽ばたけ星々よ静かに眠れ
That's for sure, he did what he had to do, but then it was just that lack of, I don't even know, discipline, I would say, from the side of it. I mean, that's how you lose games, unfortunately.
yeah, you kind of realize the fight's turning against you. You want to throw everything.
霊気発進競争よ決食前に甘いものを目の下の満足人類宴会に沈め
with no one from P-Vision. Congratulations on that win, first of all. Just talk me through that high ground hold in game 2, because it looked like that was the turning point in the game for you.
Yeah, it was too shaky, I would say, because we survived on 100 HP, I would say. I don't know, they jumped us at the high ground, we tried to save him with Marcy, and in the end it did work out for us, yeah.
So, I mean, I felt like Wildcard were actually kind of maybe took you by surprise a little bit in that game. Do you think that there have been a few teams this TI that have surprised the other teams in how well they've played?
I think on this side there's like 14 teams that they can compete, and like it proves, right, because Tundra is in lower bracket right now, 2-3, Liquid as well 2-3, Spirit 2-3, and like you cannot expect this, but it happened. Like all the like China Dota as well is like rising up and like beating everybody, so this TI is like really competitive.
It is very competitive. And of course you've got 3 first-timers here. You've got Satanic, 9 Class, and Ducalis, their first TI. You've been to a fair few TIs. How are you helping them to adapt to the situation?
I don't even like to try it. I mean, I don't think it will help because we have a coach, we have a team environment that like creates
Okay, and also, which teams have impressed you the most? Just saying there were all these teams could compete. Which team has stood out to you as like, wow, those guys are actually playing some really good dirt?
I mean, of course,
Okay.
Team, because we played the Clan War before they started the group stage, and I already said like, oh my god, these guys are good. Because like, you felt that like whole year they were like, and the first Clan War that we played against them on TI, it was like, they showed a really good data, and they proved it. They 4-0.
Fair enough. Last of all, what are your plans for the off days? We've got a few days off now. You're going to take a break, or are you just going to scrim hard?
I think one day break and then scrim hard. Watch replays that
星とし
about the heroes.
ごめんなさい
Because I think there's like lots of new things that can be invented right now in Dota because of
星と深淵を
in this patch.
無事今日の
We will like first of all
星と
take
深
a bit, take a deep breath because even against Valorant it was like a hard game, I would say. Second one, they surprised us with the draft, especially the Alchemist last pick, because we pick like Faceless with Enigma and they just like wanted to tempo us with Dawn and Alch, and it was working great for them and they swapped lanes, so we need to chill first.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, Noah. Congratulations on making the final 8. Look forward to seeing you in the rest of the tournament. Back to you guys.
I appreciate peering, getting all that information there, and a very well-deserved break for P-Vision before they do continue on in a couple of days at Barclays Arena. And for them, we actually want to experiment more with what the Helm Dome can do. I thought we were already at the limits flying here with 4 of them.
There's 5 coming. Serious guys. I think they're a very creative team, and you know it's just just fun to see what they're going to bring out. It's cool to have these couple of days to find something new, take this time to really review the game, and yeah, Dota's all about inventing, coming up with new ideas, and this is a team that does it. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, you gotta keep pushing yourself, you gotta keep proving yourself in wildcard while they don't get the win here. They are eliminated, they definitely proved themselves, and I know someone who would love to sing their praises just a little bit more, and that's Purge.
Thanks, Nat. Yeah, I wanted to look over what Wildcard did that was so effective in their match, because both games, they won the laning stage against one of the best teams in the entire world, which is incredible. Here's one of the ways they did it. De-warding was fantastic for them. They got both observer wards at the start of the game, which is virtually never happens. It's incredible that Big Gnome was able to snipe both of them. Good placements here, checking some obvious spots, and he manages to get the second ward, which is just a great start. It's going to make your mid have slightly better time.
Players.
Yeah, I mean, just keep it up, keep playing, fix your mistakes, and that's all it takes. Just consistency and stop changing rosters.
Okay, consistency, stop changing rosters. We heard it there from Fear himself. We're only halfway through our day right now. There are still 2 more teams to qualify to make our final top 8 at TI. And you know, we want to get things rolling, but before we move forward, let's have a look back to before the road to the international playoffs, where Pyrian sat down with Insania.
Hello, I am here with the oldest player at the tournament, Insania. I'm also the oldest person working the tournament, so 2 old men having a chat. Coming here as the old man of Dota now, has that changed your mentality at all coming into the tournament?
Not really. I've been looking at myself like move up the list over the years. You go on like Wikipedia, you look at the oldest people, and you were like, you know, I'm like 6-7 people off. Now like as the years go by, people are like slowly dropping off. But I'm still like going strong, and now I finally made it to the top. So
hell yeah! I mean, you coming here as a reigning champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So how has your guys' season been? Obviously coming here as champions. How has that changed your season, and how would you rate your season overall?
I think we had maybe a little bit of laziness because of winning TI last year. I think this year for us was in many ways quite relaxed. Up until a point where we were like, okay, like we really need to get our stuff together because it's not happening. Right. And I think it was around the times of we played PGL Wallachia, and I remember before one of these events, I had a wedding in Hawaii coming up in June, and I told Nish, like, hey, I really need to make this wedding. My cousin's getting married. It's in Hawaii. I really want to go, and we need to get everything together. And Nisha just looked at me and went like, don't worry about it. I'll get you there. And in order to be able to go to the wedding, we needed to be directly invited to TI.
Okay.
So then Nisha kicked it into high gear, and I think as soon as he did that, the rest of the team picked up steam, and that kind of fixed our slow start to the season.
So do you think that maybe having a commitment in your diary for a wedding or something like that is a bigger motivator than...
I think Nisha's a good friend, and if you need something from him, he will put in the work, and he'll like make sure to push the team forward. So yeah, I think for him also it's kind of nice to have something to like work towards.
Yeah. What about your expectations for this TI coming here as champions?
Expectations is a funny word, I think. I try to like not really have expectations. Obviously I'm hopeful. I think we're a strong team, we can do well. I think top 3 is within grasp. And then I think everything after that is kind of just who shows up in better form.
Right. And speaking of form, I mean, you feel like the chemistry is good on the team at the moment, but do you feel in your scrims and in your practice like we are really playing at our best? Or do you still think maybe we're going to see the best of you once the serious games start?
Yeah, I think Liquid as a team, just in general, we will probably look at our best somewhere in the playoffs. I think we have this thing with like... Okay, I'll just be real honest. I have nothing to fear. Our coach doesn't do any work, right? So he has no idea what's going on until the tournament begins, and then
we're talking about Blitz here.
Yeah. KP and Jabs, amazing.
Yeah.
Blitz, on the other hand, he doesn't really do anything. Okay. So he doesn't know what heroes are being played until like he's seen a lot of games happen, and that's usually where Liquid looks quite shaky. I think you can kind of tell from our drafts. And then the longer we go into the event, the more games Blitz has seen and the more ideas he has for like, this is how we want to draft. This is how we want to do things.
So if something doesn't work out, we
Big one coming through with the who does it to him? All the comp.
And Reddit threads. Even if it's not like draft related, make it about the draft.
Probably. Yeah, fair enough. Now, last question, because I think this is probably the one I'd like to close on. I have heard some rumors, and you've talked about it on your podcast, that you were thinking of calling it a day and retiring from Dota. Either this year or after TI, next year. What's the deal?
Yeah. So for me, next year will be the absolute maximum. That's something I set for myself. I might have to do something. Who knows? I haven't really decided yet. And for now, I just want to play the best that I can, and we'll see what happens.
And what's the reason for this? Is it just you are sick of the lifestyle?
I mean, part of it is like just Dota,
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
We're about to find out if it will be.
Dire's courier has been killed.
On the line at
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I know, and I don't think anybody had this on their bingo card when they talked about eliminations in the final day here. To talk about all of that and what's coming, I have Stormstorm, Misery, and Lizard next to me. Misery is Christmas.
Type series of the day coming up, both this one and the next one. So
It's under attack.
I'm expecting some insane Dota in
Series 1 and in Series 2, and I'm still waiting for some of these teams to actually show their A game. Like same what Insania was talking about. Like he expected top 3, that's within reach, and from what I've heard from the guys
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So yeah, I think it's finally time to show now what they're really capable of.
Yeah, if not now, then when? We gotta put a little asterisk with Tundra. They're not having their entire full roster, but I think they've had a lot of games here already in this Road to TI to get accustomed to each other. And they're like, this is it. This is their road. They have actually played with the stand-in fairly frequently in last year. When they got third, that was also with the stand-in, so they should be able to know how to adapt and coming. But then again, so should Liquid. Unfortunately for one of these two teams, the road will come to an end. Now, we gotta look at what has happened in this Road to TI so far, Misery, because both of these teams obviously are coming in with ideas. Maybe find out something wasn't working, they adapt. Like, what's going on with these teams? What's happening?
It's kind of hard to exactly put your finger on how to say what happened, but there's a reason why they're both here, potentially getting eliminated, right? They have not been looking very hot at this road to the international just yet. Here you see the results that they've had. Liquid losing 2-0 2 times and only winning 2-1. Very close series there. On the other hand, Tundra, you know, going 2 and 3 in total, also losing.
Nak sedih ada.
Jom.
Senang je gambar tu.
Ya.